Okay. Hi, I'm Gail Minogue, and I'm happy to have you with me today for a few minutes just to talk about the importance of the number 7 and the power of the number 7. I love this number. It's most people don't think about numbers the same way that I do, of course, but I want to give you a couple of tips that I think will help you in attracting some things into your life that you would like, rather than having to work so hard and chase after them. And so using the number 7 and the pattern of the number 7 can help you attract into your life. It can be relationships, it could be jobs, it could increase in money, but you need to know that power of the 7. 7 is considered, it's almost like the royalty number in the ancients. The number is attached to priests and kings, those who had the power and those who knew how to draw to them what they wanted. And the color for this number is purple, and so always think of 7 with the color purple. Okay, the power of a number itself is because of the repetition of this number, it creates an invisible force, and this invisible force attracts to it what you're trying to create. Look at nature and see the number 7. You hear this all the time. Soil rests on the 7th year. Okay, we're supposed to rest on the 7th day. I don't know how many do, particularly in the United States, because we value work so much and we work so many jobs and so hard. But we are supposed to rest on the 7th day. That's natural. And just a few little tidbits here on the number 7. The soil rests in the 7th year. It takes 7 years for water to navigate the globe and come back. That's how powerful this pattern is. It rules paradoxity in nature. So it rules you too, whether you realize it or not. So if you use this number in your daily life and use exercises that go with it, and I'm going to give you one right now, and this could help you as you're trying to manifest whatever it is, getting out of jail, whatever that is. So you want to work with the number 7. So the pattern of the 7 would be to say a mantra, an affirmation, whatever you want to call it, 7 times an hour for 7 hours, 7 times a day for 7 days. I like that one. It's easy for me. I'm using it right now to attract into my life what I have requested, and I'm very clear on it. I have the other thing is that you have to have the emotional clarity behind it. You can't just say like rote, like you're just going to rattle off a bunch of religious statements or something like that. That is not going to work. You want to have the emotion behind it. You don't talk about this to other people, because this is about you and the power of the 7. It's an inner journey. So I'm going to say something 7 times an hour for 7 hours, 7 times a day for 7 days, 7 times a week for 7 weeks, or 7 times a month for 7 months. However you want to set the pattern. It's your pattern, okay? It's what you attract. Remember, 7 is about attraction. It is not about chasing after something. Those are different numbers, but the 7 is about the attraction. And when you're working with a number, you're working with a natural pattern. You're working with the pattern of nature. Nature doesn't go nuts out there. It just grows, and sometimes it overgrows. But the same thing, next spring is going to come back again, because it's in that cycle. And so you want to be in your own cycle and to understand how you can work with this number 7. For those of you who live in a house or apartment that totals and reduces to the number 7. So say your house is 4111. That would be a 7. This house or this apartment would be a place of where we go to retreat, or where we go to replenish, or where we go to think, or where we go into ourselves. So it's not what I call the social house, where you entertain and all that. So the 7 is the house of the mind and the inner self, which is the power of the number 7. So you want to, number 1, you want to take time out each week to have a day of rest. I don't care how you do it, whether it's a Tuesday, but you have it, okay? It doesn't have to be Saturday, Sunday, but it needs to have a day of rest, all right? And that in that time period, you think and process, because that's what 7s love to do, think and process and restore yourself. Work with this pattern of the number 7. Okay? You see it in all these self-help books. You see them talk about the power of, let's say, 7 habits of highly effective people. That was a big seller. And then 21 days to change a habit or something like that. And that's really the number 7 3 times, because 3 is the creative number. So we manifest over 3 weeks, or 3 weeks of the number 7. That's all that is. It's, again, the 7 in another pattern. So 7 is the number you want to work with, and do this pattern, but do it with forethought. Verbalize, write it out before you do this so that it sounds perfect to you, not to anybody else. You don't go share this. And get in that pattern 7 times a day for 7 days. That's what I'm working with right now. And if you need it quicker, 7 times an hour for 7 hours. But you're very clear and you have the emotion behind it. Remember, everything here cannot be just rote. You can't just say affirmations. That's why they don't work. You have to have the emotion behind it. But if you do it in the pattern of 7, it is more apt to happen, because you now have the body in line, you have the mind in line, you have the emotions in line, and you're in the pattern of the number 7. So I hope this helps you in putting together something that would get you started now, that you're easy to do, doesn't involve a lot. And also, if you're thinking of moving and you're thinking of moving into a 7, remember, it's the number of retreat, it's the number of restoration, etc. So you want to think twice. Are you ready for that type of energy? I live in a 7 house, so people love to be here because it's very peaceful, but it's not a party house. This is a house where I learn, because this is the 7. It's about the mind, the development of the self. It's where I teach, I write, and I do YouTube videos. So I want to thank you for listening. And this is just a little bit of information on the number 7 and how it can be of help to you. Thanks. I'm Gail Minogue, and I'm so glad you tuned in to my YouTube channel. If you're not a subscriber, I would love it if you subscribe, and then you can get anything new I'm putting out, and I hope to keep putting out more and more. The other thing, too, is if you need a private session with me, I do those, and it would be very, very helpful. You can keep it for the rest of your life. It's the gift that keeps on giving, and you can go to my website, gailminogue.com, and that should be showing on the screen for you. You can also reach me. I have an 800 number even, 800-600-0256. So you can go to my website, check it out. I try to post every week, but I definitely would love to see you on YouTube. And I thank you so much for tuning in.